Sláinte. I really love my pants, and I'm really sad that they're not in the video more, so I'm just gonna sit like this, and I'm gonna make you see these pants. Walmart, by the way. Walmart for the turtleneck and Walmart for the pants. Don't sleep on Walmart, y'all. Okay, so this video is, sort of a Christmas video. It's the day after Christmas, so I hope that counts. I don't know if it does. But I am in a new location. I don't know if you can see the Christmas lights. You can kind of see it. I've got some little mistletoe stuff hanging, but it is an unboxing slash album review slash I don't know, book review, book wrap up. So I don't want to waste a lot of time because I don't want my camera to die, and I want to go right into it. So here we go. I bought myself the vinyl for Harry Styles' new album called Fine Line. And I purchased a vinyl, and I don't have a record player. No, I've never bought a vinyl before, and yes, it did cost me more than I was certainly able to pay, but I did pay it anyway. So I was like, it's a Christmas gift. And I'm gonna open it right now. It is absolutely beautiful. I love it so much, and it is the basis for the rest of the video today, which is me just sort of doing a wrap up of all the books that I've read. Well, not all the books, but some of the books I read this year as tracks from the song. So it has a track list on the back. I don't know if you can actually read that. Do like the beauty blogger thing. So I don't know if you can actually read that, but it is just gonna go down the list sort of and go through books I've read as each of these tracks. I listened to the whole album, of course, the day it came out. In my last video I talked about how I was filming it right after Lights Up came out, so I guess I'm just sort of inspired by the whole album. It's beautiful. I love it. I've listened to it all the way through several times, a lot of times actually. He performed live in California, and I watched it through Periscope on Twitter, just like watching people live streaming it. So I'm gonna put this over here in the back so we can have it while we're listening. So the first track on the album is called Golden, and I think it's a perfect start to the album. I think it's beautifully sung, written, obviously, and the book I chose for it will come as a surprise to absolutely no one if you've watched any of the other like 4 videos on my channel, because I, say it with me, never upload videos. Thank you. Strange the Dreamer. I do have a physical copy today because I never returned it to the library from when I borrowed it years and years and years ago, the last time I read it. It's one of the first books I read this year. And I loved it. I did a whole video on it. Go check it out if you want. I truly did love this book, and I picked it to match Golden because I talked about that in my other video, that's how it made me feel. I even said it, like the gold, and the cover is gold, and like a huge, like the main feeling I get when reading the book is very like soft and sweet and like golden sunlight. I don't know how to explain it. But that is the book that I chose, and I think that it matches sort of the tone. I think that it's like a great entrance to the album too. This, I guess, is going to be half album review, half book review. It's like very dulcet and soft, and I think it's perfect. Oh, Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor, of course. So yeah, I got this from the dollar store, and it's like my favorite new prop thing. It's not very useful, but it's fun, and that's what I like about it. So look at that. Enjoy that. Beautiful. Next. Watermelon Sugar. Watermelon Sugar is fun. Watermelon Sugar is upbeat. Watermelon Sugar is beautiful. And here I go. 1, 2, 3. I'll sing it. Watermelon sugar high, watermelon sugar high, watermelon sugar high. Anyway, I think Watermelon Sugar is the perfect song. He said, Harry tweeted, like, Kiwi walks so Watermelon Sugar could run. I don't think that's necessarily true. I think that they're very different songs. I don't really know why he said that, I guess because they're just fruit songs. But Watermelon Sugar is such a summer bop. Like, I truly wish that it had come out during this summer, but next summer, you best believe that I will be bopping that song. And it's the most, like, fun, summer, flirty, perhaps sensual, wink wink, if you know what the song, people think the song is really about. Watermelon Sugar. Look it up. And so the book that I picked for it is The Unhoneymooners. I don't have the physical book with me because I returned it to the library already because everybody wanted it and it took me 100 years to get that book because I was like number 400 and whatever on the waiting list. But as I said in my last video, it was in my like October haul. It is such a summer read. It's very fun, flirty, and sensual, just like Watermelon Sugar. And I loved it. Watermelon Sugar is one of my favorite songs on the album, and The Unhoneymooners is one of my favorite books that I've read this year. I love rom-coms, so that's no surprise. And the Watermelon Sugar makes me feel like I'm in a rom-com. I actually want it to be a song in a rom-com. I'd love it to be featuring Harry Styles, but I guess he just didn't want to get into acting since he didn't take the role of Prince Eric. We're only on track 2. This video is getting off track. That's fun, folks. So yeah, Watermelon Sugar, The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. The next song on the album is called Adore You, and it's beautiful, and I think one of the most like singable tracks is what I would say. Just let me adore you, oh honey, walk through fire for you. Just let me adore you. Just let me adore you. This is a bit of a stretch, folks, but the book that I chose for it is a book I haven't read yet. Now hear me out. I plan to read it, hopefully by the end of 2019. Probably not though, knowing me. But it is a book that I would like to read. The book My Sister's a Serial Killer by Oyinkan Braithwaite. And I have heard literally nothing but rave reviews for this book, especially because it's written by a black authoress. I think it's on Own Voices because it's about a Nigerian woman. And so, you know, Kenya, I don't know if you can see, the album is covering my Kenyan flag, but gang gang, we from Kenya. So gotta support African sisters as they write, and it's a book I want to read very, very badly. It sounds like the perfect book, truly. And so, Just Let Me Adore You is a song about longing and want and desire. And so I've paired it with a book that I long, want, and desire for. If you know what I'm saying. It's a stretch, guys, come on. And it's also my list, so you can't get mad at me. Aha. 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 Next, 4th track is called Lights Up, and it is one of the ones that he released early, just like Watermelon Sugar and Adore You, I think, also. So that's the one that people said was him coming out, but I don't think he ever officially announced that. I think I said that in my last video too. So I don't want to like spread rumors. Love the song. Beautiful song. It's a bit like the music video and the song are both like dark, kind of. There's scenes of the music video that are dark. It was one of the ones I had to like read a couple times to get like, or read, keep talking about books, listen to a couple of times to get into. And I love it. Now, like, after listening to it several times, you like really, really like it. Like, I think it's one of the best songs on the album. The book I picked for it is House of Salt and Sorrow, a book that I don't own physically. I read an arc of a NetGalley on my computer, so I don't have a physical copy of it. But House of Salt and Sorrow was amazing, and I also did a video on that. It was a little hard for me to get into at first, like a little slow to get into, but necessarily so. the plot required a lot of like sort of setting up of like characters, traits, and backstory sort of things that I think maybe when I was reading it at first I was just like, okay, can we hurry up and get to like the big thing, like what are we waiting for? But of course it pays off in the end. I think it's a beautiful like horror, and I think there is an element of spooky to Lights Up, but again, I'm the listener and I can say whatever I want, so if I can just twist the song to fit my needs, and I actually am in fact doing that, and you're welcome. I look really cute, I just realized, so I'm gonna pose a little bit. Haha. But yeah, no, I think Lights Up and House of Salt and Sorrow are a great match, actually, and you can't tell me I'm wrong. Next song on the album is Cherry. Cherry is beautiful, and I'm saying this for every song, but guess what? It's just the truth, guys. I don't know what to tell you. Cherry is romantic and full of longing. It's also sad because it is about his ex. And there's like French, and it's like a bit foreign and like a bit exotic, which is not really like, you know, just like because she speaks French at the end, it's not really that exotic, but you know, Beyonce did it first. Qu'est-ce que tu aimes le sexe? Oh, le sexe. Anyway, getting off track. That's the book I picked is Lovely War, and you can see it right there. And I should have gotten my nails done for this video if I was gonna do that, but I didn't. And this is a book that Penguin also sent me. Thank you very much, Penguin. It is lush, romantic, a little bit exotic, you know, a little bit foreign, complicated, layered, probably with a lot of like history behind it, behind the song, because it's about his ex, and also history behind it because this is about a historical. Do you see what I'm saying? It's a perfect choice. This is probably one of my most perfect choices when I'm doing this video. Like all the other ones are sort of a stretch, but this one I think is perfect. So I think this book is Cherry. Lovely War by Julie Berry. Oh my gosh, which rhymes with cherry? Is it cherry or berry? Wow. Okay, listen, there's something happening here. This is the most perfect cat. Like, this is it. Anyway, I think this is the song Cherry, this book. And if you don't agree, then guess what? Again, ha 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 ha, it's my channel. So the next song on the album is Falling, which is a really sad song. And I cried the first time I listened to it, and also the second time, and also maybe I cry every time. So what? Fight me. It's a sad song, and so the point is that the book that I've assigned for that is all of the textbooks that I had to read this semester. Rip me. But yeah, no, rip me. And so every single textbook for every single class that I had this semester, which were generally online because, you know, that's how things are now, is the song Falling off of Fine Line because it makes me cry. And To Be So Lonely is the next song on the album. These couple are just like stretches and like not a lot of books actually. So To Be So Lonely, I decided, is the book I chose for that. Is just the album, and it's not a book, but you know what, anything is a book if you really think about it. And so To Be So Lonely, because I listened to this album alone a lot when it came out, just over and over again inside of my own head, just like going in circles and like listening to it, thinking about it, planning this video, which you can't tell because it doesn't seem like a lot of planning went into it, because it didn't. But yeah, no, I spent a lot of time alone with this. Also, Harry's whole like Erota thing, like the island of Erota that he made up, and like the whole like Twitter thing, and like making it into a whole place and like with a website, was a big mistake, because I definitely spent a lot of time on the website just like trying to figure out if he had like left clues about when the album was coming out or something, and I like spent way too much trying to like read into it when actually it was just like a fake website for a fake place, because like Erota is a door backwards, lol. And I definitely was like trying to like decode the first letter and like odd numbered letters because it said but like odd number days don't leave the island. Like I put so much thought into it, and it's really stupid. And I'll never get that time back, and I absolutely regret it. So To Be So Lonely is just the whole experience of this album, because I definitely spent a lot of time doing stuff that I'll never get back. And my mom was just like, hey, why are you putting so much time into this and not like your studies? And I was like, cheers, or Sláinte. Just watched Leap Year. Feeling very Irish. Next. So, the next song is called She. And it is a cool, very cool song. I'll say that much. It's pretty hardcore. And there is a pretty cool electric guitar like solo at the end that is very hard rock, hardcore, like super like makes you want to air guitar. And it's part of why I wanted the vinyl. I don't know if I tweeted it, but I was just like and Harry said that they were all like doing shrooms essentially when they wrote the song, and that guitar solo in specific, Mitch or whatever was his name, I don't know, his guitarist, whatever, was off shrooms when he wrote the song basically, which I find very funny. And so the book I chose for She, a song about a woman who is like living inside of his head or whatever and has a cool ending. The Bird and the Blade by Megan Bannon. I am a huge the words I was gonna say I'm a whore for Megan Bannon, but that's not correct. For the book The Bird and the Blade though, I talk about it all the time, I feel like, on Twitter, because it is one of the best books I've ever read. And I think that it's so underrated, like criminally so. I feel like it's incredible, and the ending is just so and so like wow, and so like beautiful and enriching, and an altogether wonderful experience, much like the ending of the song She by Harry Styles, where you feel like very hardcore and into it and pumped up and just like but also like a little bit of like, wow, this song is ending. Wow, this was such a beautiful experience, and I'm sad to see it go. And that's how this whole book made me feel, to be honest. Ready? Look. Ooh, Bird and the Blade. Next song on the album is called Sunflower Volume 6. No clue why it's called Volume 6. There's probably a reason and I don't know it. But I just call it Sunflower. And sunflowers are my favorite flower because I'm basic. No, they're not. That's a lie. They're my second favorite flower. My first favorite flower is Baby's Breath because I think it's beautiful and very underrated also. But this book is called Sunflower. This song is called Sunflower. And it's just a very happy song. And I love that. I think it is, for reasons I won't go into, the blackest song on the album. Which the voices in my head agree with. And I will not expound. But I love it, and it makes me feel happy every time I hear it. It's just like a feel-good song, you know. It just makes you feel happy, makes you feel good. We're upbeat, we're living life, life's great. So the book is The Kiss Quotient by Helen Hoang, and I think that's how you say her last name, but The Kiss Quotient. And it is a book I read very early on, rom-com, made me feel very happy, made me feel good. It was a good book of representation for I believe the main character in the book, The Kiss Quotient, the girl, gosh, I can't remember her name. Should have done more research. It doesn't matter. But she is, she's on the autism spectrum, I believe. I thought that was a very interesting aspect of the book that, like, for representation that I don't see very often in books, though I'll admit I don't seek out representation a lot of the times, and that's a resolution for 2020. It's a different video though. But I thought it was a great book, and it made me feel all warm and tingly inside, and made me feel happy, much like the song Sunflower. That's really all there is to it. So the next song on the album is called Canyon Moon, and it's this very like retro 70s rock fun song, and it makes me want to get a nose piercing, put on some bell bottoms, wear this turtleneck, and go out and party, baby. Do some coke, right? That's what they did in the 70s. The book that I chose, obviously, for this, if you didn't guess already, for this whole 70s vibe, is Daisy Jones and the Six, baby. Ahaha. 70s music, rock, the party life, Canyon Moon. I mean, I think it's an obvious choice. I don't think that anyone is gonna be surprised by this pick. But yeah, Davy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. And that's so funny because I did not know that was the same author of Seven Husbands. I haven't read Seven Husbands, but everyone says it's really good. And I keep meaning to read it, and then I forget to go get it from the library. So I should do that. I'm trying to be more organized in 2020, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, no, I think that the whole 70s vibe in this song like really matches. Treat People with Kindness is the next song on the album. It's okay. You know, I'll go on record and say it's not my favorite song, but it's not bad either. It was like his whole like motto for this whole album is Treat People with Kindness, TPWK merch, TPWK website, and stuff like that. And the book that I picked I actually love, so it's not exactly the same like, you know, mood, but I thought that the message fit with the book nicely. Treat People with Kindness, the book I chose, which is Get a Life, Chloe Brown. Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. And she wrote a masterpiece. I think it's a great book. It's got this sweet, soft boy who I love so much, and Chloe Brown. So the guy in the book, his name is Redford Morgan, or Red. He's got red hair, and I love a guy nicknamed after his hair because that happens with girls all the time. Literally every single book ever that like I feel like I remember reading about a redhead and her nickname was like Red or like Fire or Sparky or something, and it's like, can we get a little equality here? Can we get some equally spread out weird nicknames for people with red hair? Anyway, so Red, and then the main character of the book is Chloe Brown, and she's living with chronic illness, which I believe is fibromyalgia. Does it say here? It does not. But she is living with chronic illness, and that part is really interesting to see accurate representation of that. Loving that. Treat People with Kindness, I think, matches with the book very well because I think that is one of the big messages of the book, is just generally realizing that you have no idea what people's situations are, and even when you do, as these people, like, they come to know each other very well, and there of course is a point in the book where they do not treat each other with a level of kindness, and it sort of ruins their relationship temporarily. Spoiler alert, they get together in the end, but it's a rom-com, so you knew that already. But I just think that the vibe of the book really matches with Treat People with Kindness. We've reached it. The last song on the album, Fine Line, the titular song. It also, to me, you know, a little blasphemous, but I thought it was alright, you know? Not my favorite song. But again, I'm not a music critic. Also, I should say that. I don't know anything about what makes music, like, good and worth listening to. So I definitely wouldn't take my word for anything about good music, but I didn't love it. But it's a good song. So the book I chose for Fine Line is Kingdom of Souls, and this is because similarly, Kingdom of Souls at first, okay, I'll say at first, was not my favorite, but it grew on me. I do really like this book. I think that similarly to Fine Line, it needed a couple of like listen throughs, and also I wasn't paying attention, to be clear. I will say that I think that by the time I got to the end of the album, I was a little tired because I listened to it all the way through when it dropped, so like at midnight, and I was sort of like, okay, like it's time to go to bed, like let me just kind of sleep now, let me listen to this last song or whatever. And the same thing with this, it came and I sort of tried to, like, I do love, you know, the thing where you read and you're not really reading, and so then a couple pages in you're like, I don't know what's going on at all. I kept doing that, and so I would miss a lot of stuff that was happening, like sort of details, and then like not understand. And also I felt like the book was very long, but I think that if I had sort of put my all into it and really been there mentally, I would have enjoyed it more the first time. Like now, of course, like, and now I've read the book all the way through, like for real, and I actually like it. So this is the whole video. I hope it was watchable. I have no clue how long it is. It feels like it's gonna be 3 hours long, this video. Happy 2020. Reza to 2020. Sláinte.